What's held in mind tends to manifest. So when you've got a bunch of thoughts going on that are in all kinds of different directions, I could say, I'm thinking I want it this way. I'm choosing this to happen. This is what I'm focusing on. This is what is going to happen. This. My way. Though what happens so often of the time, have you experienced this? Then you start thinking in all these different directions, all these different ways, and your thoughts tend to manifest. And what's showing up in your experience is a cumulative collection of all the thoughts you've had for many, many lifetimes. And it's showing up now. Why is it showing up? To show you what you're carrying, to show you what's been held in mind. And what's going on with those thoughts? Why can't I just choose the thoughts I want and only think those thoughts? Well, every feeling frequency, every level of consciousness has thousands, maybe even millions of thought forms on that frequency. They're not even really your thoughts. You just decorate them with your characters or your situations. And when you release a negative feeling, those thoughts disappear. You're just not on that frequency anymore. So instead of trying to change thinking, what about releasing the feelings behind thoughts that you don't want to experience sometime in one of your lives? Just releasing that feeling so that no longer do you need to fulfill that karma of thinking that thought. So we're going to take the example of getting it my way. I want it my way. I'm not getting my way. What if you are getting your way? Not your conscious way, but the thoughts that you've been thinking over long periods of time are showing up. Not the one you just had about all that money in your bank account, but all the thoughts you had of fears of not having enough money over great expanses of time, and those thoughts. What if it's not the thought you're having of this wonderful relationship with somebody, but all the thoughts you've had of relationships not working out, fear and suspicion and mistrust over long periods of time. And those thoughts are showing up now to be released. Thoughts are like flags that let us know that there's a feeling going on there. Most thoughts aren't consciously chosen. If you've ever just sat and attempted to be in the silence, pretty soon that silence will be interrupted with a thought. And it's unlikely that you consciously chose that thought. It just kind of popped in there. So you're not getting your way. It's not going how you want it to go. Could you notice the thoughts you've had that are about it going exactly the way it's going? And could you go behind those thoughts and release that feeling so that those thoughts stop popping up and you stop getting that in your future or now? The negative feelings can take a while to release. We've accumulated plenty of them. So just using the now moment to release the now feeling, to shift the frequency of your experience, to shift your consciousness for the long run. What you put in today is going to make a very big difference going in a seeming forward direction. So let's do some letting go. There are other videos on this channel about the letting go process and how that works. You can always check out Letting Go, the Pathway of Surrender from your local library or the Sedona Method and learn a lot more about the letting go process. And this is really just meant to be a practice of that. So let's begin. Your thoughts are powerful. What you hold in mind tends to manifest. And if something's not going the way you'd prefer or you'd like it to, there's a chance that there's been some thinking going on about the way it is going right now, even if it's not preferred consciously. So just taking whatever seems to be going on, where it's not going your way, you could even notice that the thoughts about it not going your way are potentiating manifestation, creating conditions for a manifestation of that to continue. So just looking at any of the thoughts that pop up around something that doesn't seem to be going your way right now. And those thoughts are filed in a feeling. Could you allow yourself to go behind those thoughts and check out the feeling that they've been filed? Just opening up to that feeling, allowing that feeling, letting that feeling run. Without trying to change the feeling, just letting that feeling be there. This feeling just needs permission to go. Could you give it permission by just feeling it, allowing it, and ignoring the thoughts? The thoughts pop up all on their own. Could you allow yourself to just keep coming back to the feeling, letting the feeling run? Keeping it really simple, just sitting with that feeling. Nothing to change about it, nothing to modify. Just a feeling. And could you let it go? Would you let it go? And there could be more, just staying open. Even if you say, yes, I could let it go. There might be more. Just notice it. Watch it. Whatever it takes, however much of this feeling there is, can you imagine if all of those thoughts that have been manifesting stop popping up in your mind? Would it be worth it to just keep releasing, keep letting go of this feeling? And so maybe it seems like you're not getting your way. In some place in your life, something that's going on. Though very likely there have been thoughts about exactly the way it seems to be going. And you might notice those thoughts. You don't need to fight the thoughts. They're just representations of a level of consciousness, a feeling frequency. Could you just let the thoughts scroll by without tapping on them and drop into the feeling behind the thoughts of things not going your way? Wherever that feeling seems to be, wherever it is, just letting that feeling run. It's okay if there's a label for it, though if you're spending a lot of time trying to figure out what the feeling's called or what it is or where it's from, that's resistance to just feeling the feeling, just allowing that feeling. So could you just go behind the thoughts, allow the feeling, let it run, let it be here, let it move. Just sitting with the feeling just for now, giving it a chance to release. Giving it a moment. Just an instant, just the right now feeling, letting it release. Could you let it release? Would you let it release? You never have to release. It's just letting it release, if you choose. And there could be more. You can just stay open and let that feeling keep running, keep moving, keep going, keep releasing. Or you can check in with where it seems like you're not getting your way. It's not going the way I want. And that in itself is a thought form. Can you notice the kinds of thoughts you've been having around the situation, the thoughts you had before? That maybe it's those thoughts that are showing up right now, you powerful, powerful being. And could you allow yourself to go behind those thoughts and notice the feeling? Just letting the thoughts drift by without engaging with them, following them. Could you allow yourself to be with this feeling just for right now? How open could you be with this feeling? How kind could you be to this feeling? Just a feeling, just here, just right now. Could you open up? Be kind to the feeling, let it be felt, so that it can go. And just experiencing the sensations in the body, the energy, just experiencing it with a willingness to let it go. Could you surrender this experience of this feeling to a higher power? A higher consciousness, just surrendering this experience. Could you surrender this feeling? Would you surrender this feeling? Not fighting it, not trying to change it, just surrendering it, allowing it to go. And just noticing, maybe the feeling lightens up, shifts to another feeling, comes up more, or goes. And could you just surrender? Surrendering the experience of this feeling. And what's held in mind tends to manifest. It may show up today. It may show up 10 lifetimes from now. So just allowing yourself to notice the feelings behind thoughts that you'd rather not need to remind yourself to release in 10 years. And what is the way that you want? How about creating the conditions where that can show up? Allowing for the conditions where that can show up. What's the way you would like it to go? You'd prefer it to go. What would you prefer to show up today or in 10 lifetimes? Could you allow yourself to just notice what it is you actually prefer? And just allow those thoughts. And noticing if anything pops up other than that. Is there any resistance to that? This is why stuff doesn't just show up right away, so it seems, is we've got so much counter energy, other thoughts than what we actually would consciously choose. And could you allow yourself to notice the feeling behind the thoughts that interrupt what you'd consciously choose? Could you let it be just a feeling? Just allowing that feeling without trying to change it or modify it. It's okay if it's labeled, and if you don't know what it is, that's fine. Could you let it be just a feeling, wherever it seems to be in the energy body, in the field? Could you just open up, let that feeling run, just for right now? And a feeling that's not resisted with lots of thought, thinking, engaging with thoughts. A feeling that's not pushed down and defended against is going to release all on its own. Could you let it release? Would you let this feeling release, thereby clearing any of these thoughts from popping up and getting in the way of what you actually would choose, what you actually intend consciously? When could you release this feeling? And just noticing how you can feel a feeling. And you made it, it's okay. And you can choose to release it. And you can shift the frequency, the conditions. So that different things start to show up than the thoughts of the past and the feelings of the past. Well done releasing. Thank you so much for joining us. So when you notice the thoughts coming up that you don't prefer, that you wouldn't prefer to show up, the thoughts about things not going your way, and the conditions for things to continue to not go your way, that feeling, could you just release it? Just release it. And if you'd like some help releasing stuff that's coming up for you, we have 4 other sessions every single day, and you can join us for free. Would love to have you release with us, and thanks for your releasing in general. It's great service. Appreciate you, and have the best.